Welcome to the deep dive. We've got a really interesting resource here today. It's a document called Daily Routine English Phrases.pdf.
That's right. And what we want to do in this deep dive is not just, read a list. We want to dig into why this set of phrases is actually such a great tool.
Especially for beginners, right? People just starting with English.
Exactly.
You shared this with us, and yeah, it looks simple, phrases about your day. But the interesting part is how this basic structure lets you talk about, well, a huge chunk of your life.
It's almost like deceptively simple looking.
Totally. It's a great example of getting a lot of use out of fairly basic words, for
Yeah.
those beginner English speakers.
It really is. I mean, you look at it, it's basic verbs, basic nouns, but think about learning a language. Describing your day, that's one of the first things you do, one of the most common conversations.
Right. Everyone has a routine. It's relatable.
And the actions themselves are pretty universal. Waking up, eating.
Okay, so let's unpack this source. Let's not just list it, but look at how it's put together and why that structure is so effective. It follows the day chronologically, right? Which seems brilliant for a learner.
Oh, absolutely. It gives you a natural story, a flow, so
Yeah.
you can string the words together logically.
Makes sense.
And it starts right where everyone's day starts, waking up, those first morning tasks.
Yeah, I wake up at, I get up at.
And right there you see a neat little distinction. Wake up is when your eyes open, basically. Get up is actually leaving the bed.
Simple, but yeah, a useful difference for someone learning.
Then it jumps straight into actions. I stretch. I turn off my
I
alarm.
make my bed, I open the window. Very physical, easy to picture.
And then, reflecting modern life, I check my phone. See, it mixes the classic stuff like making the bed with, well, what most of us do now.
Yeah, it keeps it grounded in reality. Okay, then the essential getting ready bits. I go to the bathroom.
Standard sequence. I wash my face.
Mm-hmm.
I brush my teeth. I take a shower. High-frequency things definitely need words for those.
Mm-hmm. And more steps follow. I dry my hair. I get dressed. I comb my hair.
It also throws in things like I put on makeup, I pack my bag, I prepare my things for the day.
What's really noticeable is the pattern, isn't it? I plus a simple verb plus the object. I wash my face. I brush my teeth.
Exactly. That subject-verb-object structure, it drills that basic grammar right from the start, nice and simple.
Yeah, that repetition must really build confidence for beginners. Okay, so after getting ready, the document moves logically to breakfast time.
Yep, straight into the kitchen, I go to the kitchen.
First thing for many, I drink water.
Or maybe the caffeine hit, I make coffee.
Ah, yes. Then the main phrase, I eat breakfast.
And it gives examples, which is helpful. I eat bread and butter. I eat fruit. I eat cereal. I eat eggs. Shows you how to swap out the food word.
Keeps the I eat part the same. Smart.
Right. And adds, I drink juice.
Mm.
And importantly, the social side. I have breakfast with my family.
Oh, good point. It covers eating alone or with others, still using simple phrases.
And that's key, isn't it? It's not just giving you single words. It gives you short, complete sentences. That's way more useful for actually speaking.
Definitely. Building those patterns is crucial. Okay, next step for lots of people. Going to work or school.
Right. Starts with leaving. I leave home at. Simple time marker.
And the destination. I go to work or I go to school. Then how you get there.
Yeah, it lists the common ways. I take the bus. I drive to work. I walk to work. I take the train. Covers the main options concisely. Introduces different verbs for travel.
Take the bus, drive to work, walk to work.
Yeah.
Then arriving, I arrive at work at.
And starting the main event, I start work at.
Kicks off with interaction. I say good morning to my coworkers. Nice touch.
And checking messages, I check my emails. Again, super common actions for many jobs or even school.
So now we're into the main part of the day. During the day, could be work, could be school, other stuff. The source covers a lot with simple language.
Like working with tech. I work on my computer. Very common now.
Talking to people. I talk to clients. I have meetings. I make phone calls. I write emails.
Notice the verbs there. Talk, have, make, write. Really common, useful verbs.
Yeah. And for teaching or learning, I teach classes. I study English.
Or helping people. I help customers.
School stuff, too. I do homework. I take notes.
Just general communication. I answer messages. Longer writing. I write reports. Dealing with issues. I solve problems.
Even reading. I read books. And managing your time, I check my schedule.
It's quite clever, really. A fairly small set of basic verbs lets you describe a whole range of daily activities, whether you're working or studying.
It gives a beginner a lot of mileage quickly.
Definitely. You can paint a pretty good picture of your workday or school day with just these.
Which brings us nicely to lunchtime
Yep. Document signals it with I have lunch at.
and gives options for where. I go to a restaurant, I eat at home, I bring lunch from home.
Covers different scenarios and who you're with. I eat with my coworkers, I eat with my classmates.
They give a food example too. I eat rice and beans.
And drinks. I drink water or soda. But lunch isn't just eating right. It's a break.
Ah, good point.
So it includes, I take a break after lunch and I relax for a few minutes. Captures the whole point of that midday pause.
Makes sense. The whole experience, not just the mechanics of eating. Oh, okay, so after the pause, we're into the afternoon routine.
Back to it. I go back to work or I continue studying.
Staying on track, I focus on my tasks.
And then, the feeling we all know, I get tired in the afternoon.
Ha, so true. Very relatable phrase for a learner.
And the document reflects common ways to deal with it. I drink coffee again. I take a short break.
It even includes, I talk to my friends. Shows that personal connection can be part of the routine too.
Yeah, it's not all just work or study. Then the day starts winding down. I finish work at. That's the signal, the shift.
Perfect segue into going home.
Leaving the office or school. I leave work at. Heading back. I go home.
Maybe some errands on the way. I pick up my kids, or I stop at the supermarket.
Pet duties. I walk the dog. Then arrival. I get home at.
And what you do right away. I take off my shoes, maybe I take a shower, I change clothes, I rest a little.
Again, simple actions, simple verbs. But they paint that picture of arriving home and settling in.
Okay, so now we're firmly in the evening activities part of the day.
Often starts with food. I make dinner, and then I eat dinner with my family. The social aspect again.
Then relaxation, entertainment. The list feels very current. I watch TV, I watch Netflix, I play games, I check social media.
Keeping in touch. I talk on the phone. For some, maybe more study, I study English again.
And household chores, gotta include those. I do the dishes, I clean the kitchen, I feed my pets.
And looking ahead, I prepare my clothes for tomorrow. It's actually amazing how much of typical home life is covered by these straightforward phrases.
It really is. Okay, finally, the day winds down completely. Going to bed.
Getting ready. I get ready for bed. Last few steps. I brush my teeth again. I take off my makeup.
Changing. I put on pajamas. Then the time marker. I go to bed at.
Maybe some quiet time. I read a book in bed. Getting ready for morning. I set my alarm.
Lights out. I turn off the light.
And the final goal. I try to sleep, or maybe more definite. I sleep around. Followed by a time.
And summarizing the rest, I sleep 7 or 8 hours.
And that closes the loop, doesn't it? Brings us right back to the start of the cycle.
So let's pull this together. We've walked through this document. What really stands out is, well, how effective it is because it's simple and structured.
Right. It follows the day, step by step. Uses those basic I do something sentences. It gives beginner English speakers a really practical toolkit.
High utility phrases for everyday life.
Exactly. And it's not just vocabulary lists, remember? It's usable sentences. And that suggestion in the document about linking them. Like, I wake up at 7, I brush my teeth, I eat breakfast, I go to work. That's brilliant.
Yeah, why is that so important?
Because it shows the learner how to connect the dots, how to build a tiny little story, a narrative from these simple pieces. One step leads to the next.
Ah, so that linking part is really the key takeaway for using the list. It shows how these building blocks let you tell the story of your day.
Precisely. And for a beginner, being able to talk about their own routine is huge. It's empowering. It's a topic they know really well, so they can focus on the English part, not figuring out what to say.
Gives them a solid framework and the words they need for a really common conversation.
Spot on.
So, wrapping this up, what does this deep dive into daily routine English phrases.pdf really mean for you, the listener? Well, we've seen how a simple document, built around the day everyone experiences, offers a super effective way for beginner English speakers to start talking about themselves.
Using common words, basic sentences, really practical stuff.
Yeah. And here's maybe a final thought to chew on. If describing your own day with these phrases is such a good learning tool, think about the connection you can build by asking someone else about their day.
Using the same simple language.
Exactly. What time do you wake up? What do you eat for breakfast? It's such a fundamental way to connect, you know? Bridging gaps, building understanding. And it starts with something as simple as I wake up, I eat, I go.
A simple routine, but yeah, a really powerful way to connect and learn.